Hello, loves, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Happy You Tarot. If you're new, welcome, and if you are returning, welcome. We are doing readings today for air signs. So that's Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. So we're going to get started. These will be time stamped. So, yeah, so I hope all is well um, with you. I'm recording this video super late, but I do my best work when the house is quiet. I can just connect to spirit, and so we're going to just tap in and get these readings out for you. So we're going to start with once again, we're going to start with Libra. So hello, Libra. Libra, if the messages resonate, don't forget to leave me a comment. Don't forget to hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you have not already. And I just also want to say a gracious thank you for those new subscribers, those of you who keep coming back to watch the readings. I greatly appreciate it. So let's get started. So Libra. So what we're looking at, Libra, we are looking at love, money, life, love, and money. Okay. So we're going to tap into all three of those things and just see what's going on in the energy for you. And then we'll just talk about it. All right. So let's see. And I want to start with my higher self oracle. So I'm going to pull some oracle cards, mostly oracle and guidance cards. I do have tarot in front of me, so we'll just see whatever I'm led to. All right, Spirit. So this is for Libra. What's going on with my Libra collective? All right. For Libra. Okay. For Libra. This is beautiful energy, Libra. Right out the gate. What I'm picking up, Libra, is that your courage, your strength, your tenacity, your patience in the situation is there's like the universe is rewarding you. It's something that you have just been really like focused on. You've been patient. Um, yeah, and so you're being rewarded. You're in a very focused energy where you're just you're not wavering. Like you have just set some, I'm hearing new goals for yourself. I'm also feeling that for some of you, this may be the beginning of the year, or, you may have set a New Year's resolution or something like that to just really get focused. I'm seeing someone like writing down goals, being very disciplined, very obedient. Okay. And you're on, it feels to me also for some of you, this could be you just like maybe really just getting focused on your strengthening your intuition, strengthening your spiritual gifts so that you can align with like what's for you. There's a sense that a lot of you know that you've been I'm hearing someone say, I've been playing with time or wasting time, but I got to get focused because I know that there's something for me, you've seen evidence of, like when you buckle down and put some very focused energy into something, you're seeing that the change, the shift, the reward in that. Okay, because you have the card of patience. All right, patience in tarot, this would be the temperance card. So a lot of temperance in the situation, a lot of patience, a lot of being able to balancing your emotional body. And then you have courage here, so just being very brave, very I'm hearing some of you are like really like standing on business, standing up for yourself. I'm just finding the strength to do that. You have courage next to strength, so a lot of strength, a lot of work. I just see someone just very focused on maybe creating something. Um, I'm hearing actor. Some of you may be getting into acting or music or just art in some form. All of that's art, but just being very focused. You're owning, what's yours. You're like, this is mine, and I'm not wavering from this anymore. Like I'm not taking any more shortcuts. You have ownership underneath patience, and ownership says you acknowledge your misdeeds and accomplishments alike, and you learn to love through all of the lessons. So you're learning to love your accomplishments, um, your accomplishments, as well as like what you may have seen as a failure. Okay, but yeah, and then courage, willingness. So it's like you're having a willingness. It says you are able to compromise if the end result is love. So the courage to compromise in a situation, to be able to, I'm feeling for you compromise more of like working, being flexible and being able to, as you're cultivating whatever this is, just being knowing that you're capable, knowing that you're willing to do it, and to be able to um, have the patience, and to wait, and to be still in moments, right? To persevere, because you know that something, you're getting a good return out of whatever you're pouring your time, energy, and attention in. And then under the strength card, you have joy. And joy says you delight in the love of life and bring a spirit of fun to all the things that you do. That is beautiful. So you're finding a lot of happiness in this. For some of you, this just feels like a very spiritual, like a awakening, spiritual growth, um, alignment. This energy feels really good for you, Libra. Wow. You also have balance and acceptance and perseverance. I just said that. Some of you are loving, like I'm hearing like loving where you are, loving, um, just feeling really good in you, within yourself. For some of you, this maybe even open the door for a romantic partnership, or just partnership, like committed people who are just as committed to the task, just as committed to getting the job done, to doing, staying focused. There's an energy of, you moving towards individuals who are just as focused, just as determined, just as courageous, okay, and strong, and mind, body, and spirit. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. So let's see. Let me see how this relates to your money. Since this for me, this does feel like a creative project, work, working on yourself, strengthening yourself, but it just very goal oriented. Okay. Libra, you are the sign of balance. I think you had that card here. So just standing in your power as the scales of the balance. Justice. And like I said, taking ownership of who you are and where you are and what you want. I love that. even with your finances, you have the Ring card, which talks about unity and harmony, things working together. Let's see what else you have. Yep, and I said in the beginning, a reward. The card says award, so you're being recognized for something that you're doing. So keep going. This is beautiful. Your overall energy, like I said, you have the Ring card as it relates to your money, your finances. This could also be career, something that you're just very focused on right now. The Ring card, like I said, talks about partnership, unity, harmony, things just working together. So that's the overall energy. An obstacle for you right now could be maybe just getting very focused on learning. Alexa, cancel. It could be a obstacle right now could be you creating balance around as much as you not being afraid to step out and learn something. Like, you may know what you want to do and you set the goal, but also not being afraid to ask for help, right? To get some more information in a subject, to maybe take a class, do some research, things like that. Because the book card talks about that. It talks about, learning as you go, making sure that you're understanding if you're entering into some type of a contract, if there's some paperwork documents that need to be looked at or analyzed or signed, that you know what you're doing. Okay, so that stands in the position as far as your money and your financial obligations, things that you're doing to bring in money. That stands, this the book card stands in the position of an obstacle. So an obstacle is just for you to make sure that you're reading, contracts, you're entering into things that you're fully aware of what they are, and if you don't, being able to seek the help and the advice uh, that you need to make sure that you are understanding these, or putting yourself in a position to learn. It talks about taking a class, being educating yourself in a subject. It also talks about writing, so making sure that, because I did see someone like writing things down. If you're keeping some type of journal, making sure you're going back and you're looking, right? A lot of us journal. I'm a journaler as well. And sometimes I may keep a journal for a year and I have a goal, whatever the journal is for. It could be, I'm doing a gratitude journal, 90-day or shadow work, but it's very important for you to go back then and to, review it, what have I accomplished? What was the obstacle for me? Is there something that I still need to work on? So just going back and taking an assessment of all of those things, right? So just making sure that you're doing that, Libra. All right. Um, what's coming towards you? You have the Spiral card. Okay, so continue to create balance. We did see that. You are the sign of balance, so making sure that you're being able to do that. The Spiral card can talk about not wanting, keeping things in balance so that they don't spiral out of control. Now, as that relates to something that's coming towards you as a blessing, it can also talk about forward movement, things going up, climbing the ladder, right? Getting a promotion, things moving upward and advancing instead of moving backwards, right? Or decline. It could talk about promotions, connections, okay? And I see that because this energy is definitely someone who is just razor sharp focused on a project, on getting something done, hitting a mark, setting a goal, and achieving that goal. So yeah, I do see how that energy, that is in the, things coming towards you as a blessing. And with this other energy, I can definitely see that for you, Libra. You also have award, as far as um, advice from spirit. I think for you, like, don't forget to award yourself. Like, you're putting a lot of hard work and energy into yourself, into a project, whatever, however that resonates for you, Libra. Just make sure you're awarding yourself. And that was what I was saying with also with the book card. If you are writing things down, if you're keeping a record, keeping a journal, making sure you're going back and you're reviewing it and you're seeing how far you have come, okay? And then, celebrate yourself, okay? And that's the advice here then for spirit with the award card is to celebrate yourself. Um, and how that may relate to your finances, maybe just, as you're, if you're budgeting, if you're being very mindful of where you're spending, right? If you're saving, don't forget to, do something nice for yourself or reward yourself for your hard work, for your ability to save, to budget, as it relates to that. And then, like I said, if as it relates to your career, the things that you're working on, creative ventures, work, yeah, making sure you're going back and just seeing how far you've come, so that you can continue to motivate and push yourself. Um, but not in a way that you're very critical, right? And oh, I didn't do it right, or I didn't get to where I'm going, but seeing where you have, it's the progress that you have made. Okay, that's going to be very important. All right. So let's see. What about love then for Libra? Romantic love, partnership. And I want to do a past, present, and future energy for Libra. Okay, so some of you have self-indulgence, and it's about taking time to value yourself, take care of yourself, healing, doing shadow work, self-appreciation. And I was picking that up too in the previous spreads. Okay, so some of you are just working on yourself, and you're just getting, and all of it's work for your, working on yourself. But for some of you, this may not be, it may be work, but it may be specifically just you working on yourself, yours, doing the spiritual work, um, the self-care, the shadow work, right, and elevating yourself spiritually. Okay. um, and then, like I said, for some of you, as it ties into everything else, it's like a whole evolution, right, of looking at your whole self, mind, body, spirit. So that's beautiful. Okay, so that's what I meant by, because this sits in the past position. So like this may be something that some of you set as a goal for the beginning of the year, or something maybe um, sometime last year, but definitely in the past you just set your sights on being very focused and not letting anything come in and disturb that, and staying very disciplined. In the current position, you have the card of addiction. Make sure, Libra, that you, like I said, creating balance, right? You don't want to, as addiction, this could be the devil energy in tarot, which just talks about like being overly consuming, right? Overly like obsessing over something. And so if you're obsessing over a situation, or it's okay to be focused, right? We want to create balance. We don't want to hyper focus, or we don't want to obsess over something. So just creating balance in your life, so that that does not become something that is consuming you. And it's more of a like a because then that could turn into like an emotional blockage for you. Okay, so for some of you that may be the case. So just making sure you're creating balance. um as it also relates to a love romantic partnership, this could be someone who you have walked away from, who was displaying a very codependent energy. As it relates to you, they may still be um, contacting you, wanting to contact you. And for some of you, this could have been a relationship that you walked away from and you just decided to just focus on yourself. And this person sees that you're doing that. So they're definitely trying to, they don't like it and they want to come back in and like have ownership or possession, over you. When you're with this person may have treated you like you were just that, like a possession of theirs, an object, something to be possessed. So, yeah, you walked away from that. In the future energy, I feel like this is this person's energy. I'm going to pull some more cards, but this person does miss you. You have the picture card, okay, which talks about missing you. I'm looking at pictures, just having feelings of nostalgia. So yeah. So for some of you, you're getting out of a relationship. Some of you could be getting out of a relationship with a very just codependent person or narcissist, that type of energy. And so you're just finding your self-worth and you're very focused on not going back into that and just working on you. And just having the patience and I can see with this patience card, having the patience to just do that, to walk away from something or someone, and just have the courage and the strength to do it. This person is seeing that, okay? They see that you're very serious this time about not looking back, and they miss you. So they may reach out in the future because the picture card is in the position of future energy. So they may reach out, in whatever way that may be. They may even telepathically, you may dream about this person, okay? But they're definitely still in your energy and they're watching this. You have this whole evolution of self happen, and because just the fact that you have not reached back to communicate to this person to, if they're codependent on you, on your energy, you pull that back, and you're holding that for yourself, and you're making efforts to just love on you and heal those parts of you that may even have thought that this was healthy. This person can feel that, okay? So let me see. Spirit, for the Libra, to the situation is have walked away from this situation. How do they currently feel about this person? Yeah, for some of you, you just walked away from this connection because you just felt like, you have the Star card reversed and Five of Swords. You just kind of felt like, no matter what you did was not enough. It was never enough. It was, and then it became more of an energy drain. High Priestess reverse, yeah. So you don't want to go back into that. You feel like with this person, you feel like you can't trust your intuition. There may have been secrets. This person was hiding things from you. Star card reversed. May even you couldn't focus on self. The Star card is all about healing. You couldn't focus. You couldn't focus on yourself, your gifts, your talents. So no, you definitely, I can see then why some of you are like, no, I don't want to go back to and involve myself with this connection anymore, with this person. I don't want to connect with this person anymore. Let me see. How do they feel about Libra? Spirit, how does this person? They're the Sun card reversed. They yeah, I can definitely see they're depressed. They do see that, yeah, this person is depressed. This person, they needed a lot of reassurance. They needed a lot of your energy. If you were this person who was just full of life and determination, motivation, they fed off of that. but not in a way that it didn't. They just drained you then of that. Like there, it didn't make them want to be a better person. They just liked the way you made them feel, and being maybe with someone who was very highly motivated, um, just to sit in that energy with you. But it looks like it just became a drain, and you were just like, no, because it's almost like someone just woke up or just had this, this moment of reflection, and you're like, okay, this wasn't the way that I expected for this connection to be or to go. It's taking more from me, and we're not working together. There's no reciprocity here. So for some of you Libra, you've walked away. This person is missing you. And like I said, you may be dreaming about this person because they're definitely like trying to pull you back energetically. So you may, through your thoughts, through your dreams, they may physically try to come back. They may call, they may text, but yeah. And they're definitely seeing your glow up. Spiritual glow up is what I'm feeling. Just your healing and all of that. So yeah, that is what you have for love, romantic partnership. I'm gonna pull a few more cards. I want to see, just get you some advice from spirit. Final words of advice for Libra. I think you're making the right decision, Libra. I'm gonna pull you a few more cards. I feel like you've made the right decision to just focus on yourself. Yep. You have the Queen of because it took you a while with this Four of Swords, but it's like you kind of like had to pull back and just kind of meditate and just get quiet and centered about what was best for you. So you made a decision with this Two of Wands reversed. You made the decision to possibly walk away from someone who was a King of Wands reversed, someone that was just not for you, more of an energy drain, very negative person, very critical. And what I feel is this person is very critical of themselves, but then that turned into them being also very critical of you. You may have really tried to reassure this person, encourage them, speak life, speak words of affirmation over them, but it didn't work. It only drains you. So spirit is just saying continue to just move forward. You have the Queen of Cups here. So you're moving in love. You're tapping in, I said that, to your emotions, to that part of you that where you're pouring into you. All of the things that you maybe were pouring into this person, you're pulling that back, pulling your energy back, focusing your love and attention and healing energy on yourself. You're feeling more grounded and more, you are creating a more of a solid foundation for yourself with this Four of Wands. And so spirit is just like, don't go back. With this Eight of Wands reversed, spirit's like, just stay focused on developing yourself and this, creating more of a stable foundation for yourself with this Four of Wands. Okay, so that is beautiful energy. So that's what I have for you, Libra, and we are going to move on to Gemini. Let's see, time. All right, Gemini. Hello, Gemini. We are doing readings today, and we are focusing on life, excuse me, life, love, and money. Okay, so we're going to look at all three of those. And I hope all is well. Like I said, don't forget to hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you have not already, if the readings resonate with you, and we're going to get started. So I'm pulling Oracle and Tarot cards, Gemini. Pulling from the Higher Self Oracle. This is a new deck for me, and I'm really enjoying it. All right, for Gemini. What's the energy around Gemini spirit? Okay. All right, let's see. There's more cards. The Gemini. One more card. Infinity. All right. Gemini, just like Libra, it looks like you're very focused as well. Something in your life currently is causing you a lot of maybe some worry, some sleepless nights. You're in your head a lot. You're thinking a lot about something. You have the card of worry here. But you're doing a lot of reflecting with this pause card. And a lot of reflection and prayer. You do have prayer here. You may be you're trusting your guides or your divine guidance right now, which is beautiful because it's like you may be going through a lot, but you're really leaning on your faith, leaning on just your inner knowing. Okay, you're tapping into that, tapping into what spirit is saying to you, what you're feeling intuitively. There is a sense I'm feeling that some of you need to tap back in. For some of you, you need to tap back into your intuition. You're not, you're focusing more on the things going on around you, outside of you, versus being led by spirit. Okay, so for some of you, the worry is there's a lot of worry, stress, there's things going on in your life, but you are going within because that's where you feel your strength, right? You draw from your spirit team, your guidance, you knowing you are protected, knowing that everything's going to work out, that type of attitude. And then for some of you, there's you need to tap back into that sacred space where you can hear from the divine, so that you can lean more into understanding from a higher perspective, because there's a sense that the worry is causing confusion. And I say that because the card of clear your energy is here. Okay, so that just indicates to me that some of you just you feel very confused because you've consumed, you're absorbing the energies of other people, places, things, and so it's throwing you off a little bit. But in the center of that, you have prayer. So like I said, either tapping back into prayer, or some of you are tapping into that, and because of that, you're on the right path. For those of you who are not, spirit wants you to know that you are on the right path. Okay, there is a purpose behind all of this, and that's why spirit wants you to kind of be led by your intuition, listening to higher self, listening to your spirit team, because the answers will come through that state of that stillness. Okay, you'll understand the path becomes a little clearer. Your vision, whatever that is, continue to hold that vision. Says no matter what, you see the bigger picture of a loving, just universe. So no matter what, you continue to hold your vision. Okay, some of you are, and so spirit is just continue to say, you're on the right path with that. You have a unity here and spontaneity. Also, spontaneity says you move beyond the constraints of your mind and freely and lovingly embrace new situations. For some of you, it's time to do that. It's time to start to freely, you got to get them moving, right? If we want to, sometimes in order for us to vibrate at a higher frequency, we have to not only, it's a beautiful thing to, pray and to, know that we're, everything's going to work out for us and keep an attitude of gratitude. It's very important, but it's also very important for us to keep moving, right? Keep doing the things that bring us happiness, that nurture our spirit. So there's a call for you right now to continue to do that, Gemini. Okay. And unity just talks about just feeling more more unified with yourself, with the divine, because of that. Because that energy of you getting into nourishing yourself, nourishing your spirit, causes that alignment, causes you to feel more unified, more in union with the divine. It says you understand that love shared with another is amplified and has a ripple effect across the universe. So that's what I mean, like that ripple effect of you pouring into yourself, loving on yourself. It's a ripple effect because others feel that, they see that glow on you, that it spills over, right? You're nurturing yourself, your cup is full and it's running over into everything else. So that's what's going on currently, Gemini, your energy. All right. So for some of you, you are tapping into this and understanding that. And then for some of you, there's a need to do that, to tap back into self, to tap back into your with your guides. Okay. A spiritual guidance. All right. So let's see. How does this relate then to money for money, career, finance for Gemini? What's the overall energy? Anchor. Cool. For some of you, Gemini, the anchor card talks about feeling stuck. So for some of you, you may feel stuck. You may feel tied to a situation because of financial, maybe obligation, financial responsibility. So you feel like there's no flexibility for you. There's no time maybe to pour back into yourself because of the financial obligation. All right. And then for some of you, the anchor card could represent feeling grounded, feeling stable financially, financial stability. But what I'm feeling the heaviest is that even if some of you feel financially stable, you're still questioning. There's still it's almost like you're like, I'm okay, but I'm okay for now. But will I be okay? You know, you just have all these questions. Will I be okay 6 months from now, a year from now? Do I have enough? Am I planning enough? You know, something like that. There's a lot of you questioning that as far as your finances. Obstacle right now for you is paperwork, contracts, something that maybe you have to get done. Um, so this could be at work. This could, as it relates to your money, career, finance. This could be, you may have a lot on you. Also with this anchor card here, maybe a lot of responsibility on you at work. Okay, because the book card does talk about that. A lot of having paperwork, contracts, like a deadline, things that are that you're needing to fulfill. Okay, and so there may be some a little bit of stress around that, because that is sitting in the position of an obstacle right now, challenge. Okay, so maybe some stress and some worry. You have the card of worry, remember, around that. What you don't see coming as a blessing is like new ideas. Okay, also a new income. So you may get some inspiration, like a light bulb moment. Some of you may already have something like an idea for a business or something that you want to do to make extra money. Um, so what I'm feeling intuitively is like it's time to step out on that. It's time to invest in that. Even if that just means learning more about how you're going to navigate through that, you're going to cultivate it, you're going to, but just, yeah, I'm hearing like blueprint. So maybe writing your ideas down, but it's definitely an idea coming. For some of you, you're getting this through dreams as you sit by water, as you're sitting outside. It's something about connecting with nature, or when you're very still. And so, yeah, so you're getting these ideas. Um, my advice will be, because I do this myself, is just keep a journal handy. So maybe keep a journal, next to your nightstand. Keep a journal, keep something with you, or maybe in your phone. But whenever you get these ideas, maybe just writing things down, because you do have that's what's coming, like something new, a new idea, a new project. For some of you, this may even be a new job. But it does talk about entrepreneurship, so just stepping out on faith and maybe doing something. And like I said, getting back into passion work, things that just nurture your spirit. So as you get into like maybe a hobby, for some of you, this may be, you may do this just for you, and then maybe prepare something that you cook, something that you work with your hands, and then someone sees it and like, oh, I'll buy that from you. Can you make me one, or something like that? So yeah, so you may that may be something that may be like a side hustle for you or something like that. All right. And then your advice from spirit is just to don't cut corners with your money, because that's going to create some conflicts. So just getting very focused. I'm hearing some of you really don't want to look at maybe everything that's going on financially, but it's like you have to look at it so that you can navigate through it. You have the sword card here, and it talks about money conflicts that come from cutting corners or not wanting to look at something or face something. So yeah, being able to do that, being able to just go ahead and if you have the money to pay something off, pay it off and get it done, so that it's just not lingering over you. Okay, so Spirit wants you to just continue to do that. All right, so let's see, Gemini, let's shift it a little bit and let's look at your love, romantic love and partnership. See what the energy is around that. All right, for Gemini, romantic love, partnership. There's a lot of love around you, Gemini. You have the card of love, which talks about unconditional love. This could also talk about self-love, um, pouring back into yourself, spending time with self, like I was saying before. Getting back into what nourishes your spirit, what makes you feel fulfilled, because I'm talking to a Gemini who's doing a lot. You may have a lot on your plate at work, a lot on your plate at home, just with your responsibilities. And so Spirit just wants you to, continue to cut out some time for yourself. In the current position, as far as romance, you have keys on a ring, which talks about having a lot of options, um, being in a situation, romantic situation that may be unconventional. So not necessarily like a traditional type situation, or some of you could find yourself in a situation a romantic involvement where you didn't expect to um, you may have said to yourself, well, I'll never put myself in this position, I'll never do this, I'll never, I'm not attracted to this type of person, but you're finding yourself in just that. So make sure that you're not compromising yourself. It talks about a one night stand and feeling like someone is stringing you along. Okay, so just make sure you're not the one being strung along, or you're not stringing someone along. Okay, so be very clear with your intentions, or ask questions of the other person, because it's something that's just not um, unconventional. Just kind of gives me a feeling like it's something that you wouldn't necessarily put yourself in any other situation, in a circumstance. But yeah, so you also have the energy. What's coming towards you is the butterfly card, which talks about evolving, releasing something from the past. So in the future, you may be breaking free of something, releasing yourself from something, healing. You may be going to therapy, because it's talking about healing the inner child. I just dropped the card, healing the inner child. And then you have abundance next to that. So positive mindset, gratitude. Okay, it looks good. So what's coming towards you, for some of you, if you're doing this self-work, shadow work, you're healing, you're letting go of something, just making sure you're not stepping into something where you feel like you're being strung along, or um, you're just not being true to yourself in a situation. Make sure, because that could create a blockage for this energy that is trying to come in, which is an energy of abundance, in love, being able to, something that is just very high vibrational, where you just feel like it's a blessing, and you just feel very, there's a lot of gratitude and thankfulness around the situation. All right, so yeah, let me pull you a few more cards, Gemini. Last messages for Gemini, Spirit. Okay, you have the Devil reverse and the Chariot reverse. Yeah, don't compromise yourself. Spirit doesn't want you to compromise yourself. The Because the Devil reverse can talk about the devil can talk about being in a compromising position, but it's reversed. So Spirit's like, don't put yourself in a compromising position. And if you're thinking about doing so, it's not going to work out for you. It's not for you. With the Chariot reversed, it's not going to move forward. It's not forward movement, or growth, because some of you are doing some shadow work, some healing, introspection. And then the Empress reverse, yeah. So Spirit wants things to grow for you. So, because the Empress is a fruitful growth, right? Abundance. So Spirit's like, don't cut off your blessings. Don't go, because something may cause you to be stagnant, to go backwards. Um, and so you may be doing a lot of work on yourself, and so just don't get caught up at with anything that's not going to continue to help you to continue to move forward. So watch out for like low vibrational situations. Sometimes we can't help if we find ourselves in a certain situation, Gemini, but just being able to assess the situation. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. Don't make it fit. Okay. So that's what I have for you, Gemini. And we're going to move on to Aquarius. So Aquarius. All right. Hello, Aquarius. We are doing our readings today, looking at life, love, and money. So if the reading resonates, don't forget to hit that, leave me a comment, hit the like button, and subscribe if you have not already. Thank you to those who have subscribed. And we're gonna pull some Oracle and Tarot for you and get started. I got dropped one earlier, but that's okay. All right. All right, let's see. This is for Aquarius spirit. So these are going to represent what's going on just in your energy and life right now. Any blockages, challenges, blessings. For Aquarius. Okay. All right. All right. Aquarius spirit wants you to take the first step in the situation, okay? Because some of you are feeling there's a lot of obstacles that you're trying to overcome, and it's causing you to feel like a failure, okay? But spirit just wants you to trust. You gotta trust. You gotta trust yourself, okay? A lot of times when we enter a season where we are, or a situation where we are feeling like we cannot trust other people, you'll hear people sometimes say, well, I have trust issues from things that have happened to me. But basically, the root of that is you don't trust yourself, okay? Because if you trust yourself, no matter what obstacles you have overcome, no matter what have, things you have gone through that may have in the beginning or as an end result made you feel like a failure, then if you've learned from that situation, then you're taking a completely different evolved person into your next situation, right? And so you have to trust yourself. Trust that even if you stumble and fall, or you trip, I'll say that if you trip, right, you're gonna recognize the red flags this time. You're gonna recognize where you need to, oh, I went wrong in before in this situation. So you have to trust yourself. So you're having a hard time doing that because you've gone through a lot. There's been a lot of obstacles and changes and shifts that maybe things happened that you just felt like they were out of your control, or you felt out of control in the situation. And so it's just been really hard for you to trust moving forward. Okay, that's what I'm feeling immediately for you, Aquarius. Spirit wants you to know that the taking the first step would be like the Fool card for me in tarot, which talks about taking that leap of faith. Because there is success and freedom in moving in a different direction. Okay, for some of you, you've been contemplating if you want to move, if you want to change jobs, if you want to change locations, physical locations. Maybe you want to move to a different city, a different town, a different state. Spirit is, there's a lot of success in that. There's a more freedom in that. And I feel like you know that intuitively. But the fear is the trust and the having gone through so much that you feel kind of stuck in a situation. But remember, fear is an illusion, right? Because we are co-creators, right? Of in this in our world, we're creating with the divine, and you can create the outcome that you want. You can create it better from what you do know, right? From this wisdom that you have gained now that you know better. Okay. And we know better, we do better, right? So don't get stuck. That's the advice then, Aquarius. Don't get stuck in the past. Past hurt. See it for what it is, but just know that you have grown from that. If you're still holding on to it, maybe processing that with someone, with a professional, or just working through it, because it's really just it's a blockage, but it's not permanent, right? It's just a blockage. It's another obstacle. It's something that you just have to come over. And once you do, Spirit just wants you to know there's so much success and so much freedom in that, and it's going to put you in this moving in a more positive direction. But you gotta take the first step. Okay, you gotta take the first step to overcome whatever this is. Spirit is understanding that you have gone through a lot already, but you've learned a lot too. So maybe changing the way that you are thinking or speaking about a situation. One of the things I align myself with is that this situation happened for me, not to me, right? It's happening for me. So maybe aligning yourself with that. Taking ownership in the situation. Ownership says you acknowledge your misdeeds and accomplishments alike. So create balance, right? You've gone through some things, but you understand that a loss was just on the other side of loss, there's a gain, right? So if you lost something, if you walked away from something, it's just an opportunity for it to free you up, so that now you can bring in new energy of something. So you have to you have to speak that over yourself. You have respect. You value everyone's unique perspective on the path of love, but it came out in the reverse. So I'm feeling that there's, for some of you, you're lacking in the self-respect department. Okay. Especially next to this trust card, it's like you don't trust yourself, and so it's turning into like maybe you're doing things that go against your core beliefs and values. You don't respect yourself, or you're allowing other people to disrespect you, um, and not taking accountability of that trust, whatever that is, whatever you're lacking trust in. So because for some of you're saying that you have these issues with trust, but you keep doing the same thing, putting yourself in the same situation and expecting a different result. You got to show grace and compassion to yourself, Aquarius. It says you got to demonstrate the language of the heart by actively sharing and living love. Okay, love of self. Everything starts with self-love. Okay. For some of you, I'm picking up too. For some of you, there was someone that you really saw as like a friend. You were very loyal to this person, and they really let you down. That's what you can move past. I feel like this just happened to someone. Like there's a friendship that came to an end, and this person betrayed you. And I'm hearing some of you say this was the last person that I felt like I could trust. And they may have destroyed that, or that's the feeling anyway, that trust was destroyed. So now you have to, it's okay, we pick ourselves up, but you have to, what part of yourself allows you to not see the red flags, right? Because there's always red flags in situations. But sometimes we want to see only the best in people, so we deny those flags. But you gotta, we're imperfect. So you have to, so moving forward, just making sure that you're, you know, being honest with yourself. Can I trust this person? Can I, maybe you can. I always say, you have to, everyone doesn't get the same access to you, right? These people, some certain individuals may only know this part about you. You only share this, part, and then some can come a little closer to that heart center, right? But you have to be patient and see, let it play out, so you can see what where this person sits. So where should you position them, so to speak, in your life? Oh, I want to do, let's see how this relates to your money, your career, or your finances. All right, what about overall energy then for Aquarius, for finances? All right. Your overall energy as it relates to your money, finances, is about the Ring card, which talks about things working together, okay, creating solid partnerships, okay. So that looks good. Long-term investments, you may be investing in something. Finances look good. If things are a little turbulent right now, they're going to balance out. They're like coming into like alignment, unity with this Ring card. So I'm even feeling like, even if with your financial obligations or finances, um, it's, even if you're having to pay out more money or do, it's like, if it's gonna all balance out, it's gonna all work in your favor, Aquarius. In the card of a challenge for you is saving. For some of you, there may be a need for you to get a part-time job, a second job, if possible, to be able to, because if you're setting a goal, it's almost like if you're feeling stuck in your finances, you got to do something different, right? So I understand everyone maybe can't go and work another job, but if you can, that's the energy that I'm picking up. Like, you have to do something different if you want a different result, is what I'm getting for you, Aquarius. So even in, as it relates to your finances, you got to do something different, because there's a feeling of you don't have enough. I don't know what's going on with this Moon card. Things are hidden or scarce, but there's other opportunities. You have to look at the bigger picture. All right. We're sitting in a position of what you don't see coming as far as a blessing. Some of you are starting over. It's a new job, a new start. Some of you will be starting over. I did see some of you need opportunity in travel, like moving to a different state, city, job. So for some of you, that may look like going back to school or getting, training in a situation, in a for better. And like I say, you got to do something different. You can't stay and complain in this, the same situation if you're not going to move forward to do something different. And then your advice is, you have the Face card and the Clover card energy. All right. So the Face card talks about taking risks, being self-made. So it may be something, that a skill set that you have, a talent that you have, that's gonna bring in some money for you. So being like creating it for yourself, creating that space of revenue, different revenue, instead of waiting on someone to give it to you, creating that for yourself. And then you also have the Clover card here, which talks about a good fortune. Um, be aware of risky business, okay? But it does talk about surprise, you just feeling lucky. There's an energy of favor. Yeah, so really good energy. So Spirit wants you to know that you are favored, you are deserving of all the blessings, right? But you have to see yourself that way and start to invest more in yourself, okay? Instead of just waiting on things to happen. But yeah, so that's what I have for you as far as your money, Aquarius. So things look good. You just have to, like I said, if you want something different, a different change, a shift in your finances, you have to create that that shift, that change. You have to be the change you want to see, right? All right. So let's see. Romance and partnership. I'm recording. Romance and partnership. It seems to me like there's an energy of there's two different energies at play here, Aquarius, as it relates to love and partnership, romantic love, partnership. One, there is someone that you have walked away from. You have the separation card here, sadness, missing you. Um, I feel like if some of you are questioning, like, does this person miss me? Do they realize like what they had with me? Yes, they do now. Um, and they also they're thinking about you, and they feel very uncertain about their future without you. Okay, um, but you're walking into something different. You have the coffin card here with blowing kisses, so their energy, they're missing you with the separation card, but then for you, you're walking into like a new beginning. Coffin card is like the death card, so like a death and a rebirth. With its blowing kisses, you're walking into something where it's unconditional love, giving and receiving, fairness. So something that's just very reciprocal. So for some of you, I was picking up that you may have ended a friendship. This could have been romantic or platonic or whatever, but you walked away, you felt betrayed. This person does recognize that they hurt you or they let you down, but there's something better coming towards you. Okay, and like I say, but you gotta shift your focus. Don't get stuck in this energy of where you're not trusting. If you need to process that with someone, do that. Okay, but there's a lot of things changing. Maybe you had to let go of that. You had to pull your energy away from that situation. You could have been in a relationship with a narcissist. Um, they have the golden mirror here, which talks about love bombing, self-absorbed, one-sided, potentially narcissist. But you're going into a new phase. Yeah, some of you are really, there's someone else that you're gonna meet. You may have already met this person. You may know this person, but yeah, romantically, you're stepping out from breaking away from someone that just was not healthy for you, and to someone that is. So you gotta, but the energy can't make its way to you, right, Aquarius, if you're not open to wanting to. It can come towards you, but if you're not open to receiving it, right? So you got to be in a energy of you know wanting something new, but also doing the work on self, so that you're not in this very low vibrational, critical, you're beating yourself up, I can't, it's not for me, I don't trust, so just making sure that you are healing what needs to be healed, and just raising your vibration, not staying stuck and stagnant, in your energy. So I'm going to pull some tarot cards to get a few more closing, well, to get some closing messages for you from Spirit, and then we're going to wrap it up. All right. Closing messages for Aquarius, Spirit. Lighten your load. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Stop making things fit that aren't for you. You have new love. You have a lot of new things coming in for you. Things that make you, give you a feeling of just overwhelming joy. But you have to walk away from things that no longer serve you with the Seven of Swords reversed. You definitely found out that someone betrayed you. Spirit wants you to, with its Hangman energy, change your perspective, the way you're looking at something, okay? And you have the strength and the courage to do that. You found the strength and the courage to do it. It's like you've walked away. Now you got to get your mindset has to be like accepting of the fact that you walked away because it was in what was best for you, okay? So you have to get centered and focused on that, because there's a lot of things that are happening, new things pouring into your life, things that are just make you feel joyful and like I said, an overwhelming sense of joy and abundance. And we saw all of that in your different spreads, okay? So you have to lean on, and accept that is where you are. That is where you're headed, to abundance and things that are flowing and okay, and working out in your favor. All right, so that's what I have for you, Aquarius. Leave me a comment, let me know how this resonates, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, love, and light.